Hello, good evening. We're glad you could join us. Financing and funding continue to be the drive force for milestones recorded in the oil and gas sector. And on the other side of the coin is ambitiousness and audacity to sustain the momentum for the results that NNPC can point to today. By 2020, the corporation is looking to attain 2.5 million barrels per day national oil production and 1.5 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day. How possible? $1.2 billion multi-year drilling financing package is in the bag. There's quite a number of positives attached and related to this, even as NNPC expands IT adoptions across SBUs for efficiency, and looking forward to the delivery of NPDC's holding facility in December. Its local content development drive has been applauded. That's by the way of sharing the defining boundaries of this package. I'm Akin Agbejule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
I came here to give a masterclass, but actually I got a masterclass as well from people who absolutely live and breathe the oil and gas industry and know exactly what it means to run a multi-billion pound business in order to benefit a country. So I've learnt a lot today, and I hope that I've contributed something to your knowledge too.
Let's share the highlights with you. 36 offshore-onshore oil wells get drilling financing boost, $1.2 billion. That should go a long way. NNPC explains IT adoptions across SBUs. Dr. Baru thumbs up NPDC's local content development drive. It's got to do with gas. NNPC cautions petroleum products consumers against mishandling of products. We got details.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey thief with fuel and petroleum station wey dey hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people wey dey build small tank and sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre. Stop am o. Because why? Na big offense now. Na jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price, na still 145 naira per litre. So therefore, no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel dey wey go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamadu, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, sign this message.
The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, an upstream subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has achieved a 100% local content input in the development of Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility. NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Mekanti Baru declared this during a tour of NPDC's Oredo Flow Station, Oredo Gas to Pan Ocean Facility, Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility, IGHF, as well as the Oredo LPG Dispensing Facility, all in Edo State. Commending NPDC on the feat, Dr. Baru said he was proud that a world-class facility was being put in place by a Nigerian engineering contractor in conjunction with another Nigerian company, the NPDC.
NNPC is not looking at itself just to be a player. No, we are beyond that. We are not only a player, but we are building capacity to be ready to take over any assets that any contractor party or operator is not willing to go ahead with.
The Managing Director of the NPDC, Mr. Yusuf Matashi, thanked the NPDC board led by the GMD for coming down to inspect the gas facilities, saying it was the first time the company was witnessing a highly synchronized support towards these projects.
This facility represents 40% of the solution of LPG in the domestic market in Nigeria as at today.
As part of concerted efforts to shore up the nation's reserve from 37 billion barrels to 40 billion barrels by 2020, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NPC) has secured a $1.2 billion multi-year drilling financing package for 36 offshore and onshore oil wells under the NNPC Chevron Nigeria Limited joint venture. Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, made this revelation while reflecting on some of the milestones recorded in the oil and gas sector in Abuja. Dr. Barrow stated that the plan to attain the 2.5 million barrels per day national oil production and increase production to 3 million barrels per day by 2020 was also in top gear. The NNPC helmsman stressed that the flagship upstream subsidiary of the corporation, the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), would increase its oil and gas production to 500,000 barrels per day and its 1.5 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day by 2020.
From the various service providers that we have been working with, this has significantly improved upon our bottom line. Similarly, we have reduced the contracting cycle from about 24 months to 9 months. Our target is to achieve less than 6 months as soon as possible.
He stated that the NNPC was currently implementing the Incorporated Joint Ventures IJV's arrangement for JV assets as a long-term solution for the JV cash call issues, stressing that the NNPC has renegotiated and resolved the JV cash call challenges and commenced the payback of the arrears using incremental production from JV companies. In the midstream, Dr. Barrow said the NNPC had employed deliberate efforts to commercialize the nation's huge gas resources for economic growth, adding that more exploratory activities were carried out over the past year, leading to an increase in total gas reserves.
We have significantly grown domestic gas supply from 950 million standard cubic per day in December 2016 to about 1,500 million standard cubic feet of gas per day to the domestic and power sector. Of course, our flagship company, the NPDC, a subsidiary, has maintained its biggest gas supply position, supplying over 760 million standard cubic feet of gas per day to the domestic market.
Dr. Barrow said the offshore processing OPA and crude swap arrangements were replaced with direct sales and direct purchase scheme with reputable offshore refineries, leading to increased transparency and accountability in downstream operations.
We have been able to sustain products availability nationwide through the combination of the DSDP, price modulation and provisions of foreign exchange to the pre-qualified third-party oil marketing company.
The NNPC helmsman reiterated that it would continue to sustain nationwide product distribution to prevent scarcity and product drought, stressing that it would continuously improve and increase downstream infrastructure to guarantee seamless operations.
The National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has affirmed its willingness to work closely with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to ensure a hitch-free products distribution across the country throughout the year. National President of NUPENG, Prince Williams Akpora, gave this assurance when he led the National Central Working Committee on a courtesy visit to the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, at the NNPC Towers in Abuja.
We had opportunity of working with a very wonderful man who is the GMD of NNPC, for his entirely a love, not only love for NUPENG, but for this country. Because the way he has handled the industry since he came on board, is unprecedented.
Responding, Dr. Barrow, who inaugurated the newly elected NUPENG NNPC group executives, charged the labor leaders to sustain the industrial harmony currently being enjoyed in the industry by resorting to dialogue instead of threats and confrontation. He assured the Central Working Committee members of maximum support towards re-engineering the union and helping the new union leaders deliver on their campaign promises.
I can guarantee you and also give you the word of management that we are partners in this business together. And I'm sure that you deliver on those aspects of your campaign promises.
In his remarks, the new NNPC Group Chairman of Nupeng, Comrade David Idache, pledged loyalty to the NNPC management, assuring that his executive would always collaborate towards achieving the corporation's strategic objectives.
This is going to be a critical period for Nigerians. It's a ULETA period. And of course, we'll ensure we collaborate with management for us to have smooth operations in NNPC.
As the dry season draws near in the country, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has advised petroleum products consumers across the nation against mishandling of white products. NNPC Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Amadu, in a release in Abuja, stated that experience has shown that commuters stock petroleum products at home or move about with them in their vehicle boat at this period of the year, exposing themselves and others to serious danger. Uamadu said the incident involving a car laden with fuel, which burst into flames while in motion last week at Umuodi community, Osisiomangwa local government area of Abia State, exemplified the danger of transporting inflammable petroleum products in a vehicle not made for that purpose. The corporation spokesman admonished communities hosting NNPC facilities to refrain from tapping products from NNPC pipelines or engaging in activities that may lead to spill of petroleum products, saying individuals involved in such an act may suffer untold casualties. He encouraged communities in NNPC areas of operation to report suspicious movements around the corporation's facilities to the law enforcement agencies, adding that observing basic safety rule of keeping away from areas where inflammable petroleum product spills had occurred could save lives and properties. Recently, fatalities were recorded while property worth millions of naira were lost when some members of Umuaduru and Umuimo communities in Osisiomangwa local government area of Abia State were caught in a fire while they were reportedly scooping petrol around NNPC's pipeline in their community. Meanwhile, the NNPC Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has assured motorists and other consumers of petroleum products of availability of white products for their comfort as the year-end festivities draw near. Dr. Baru explained that NNPC has 37 days fuel sufficiency, according to the release by the NNPC spokesperson, stressing that the GMD said strategies had been put in place to ensure that Nigerians experience a hitch-free festive period.
The management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has distanced its group managing director, Dr. Mekanti Baru, from the phantom cash transfer to the President Muhammadu Buhari campaign organization for the purpose of funding the media and publicity leg of the exercise. The NNPC, in a test statement by its Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Amadu, described the allegation as a politically induced hallucination which has found accommodation in the subconscious of some mischievous political actors intent on dragging the corporation and its GMD into the arena of partisan political tussle. The corporation said the allegation was not only patently false, but runs against the prevailing gale of transparency and accountability pervading the operations of the NNPC since the advent of the current administration. The NNPC called on all well-meaning members of the public and oil and gas industry stakeholders to disregard the phantom report, noting that the management of the NNPC under Dr. Baru is focused on delivering the aspiration of Mr. President for the petroleum industry.
In its commitment to remain a going concern, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has expanded its information technology IT adoption across all the downstream strategic business units of the corporation to cut operational costs and ensure efficiency to beef up the bottom line. Speaking during an interview with Oil and Gas Forum crew, the Group General Manager Information Technology Division, Mr. Inua Anladi, stated that the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, PPMC, the Nigerian Pipelines and Storage Company, NPSC, and NNPC Shipping have all been fully aligned to ensure seamless interface with external stakeholders.
Today, as we speak, we have automated 30 key business processes for PPMC, NPSC, and Marine Logistics, and 96 sub-processes. Now, a customer does not need to go to the depot to order for petrol or any of the petroleum products. That's the automation we did for PPMC, and we are going to go live shortly.
He maintained that through the IT adoption strategic policy of the NNPC, the corporation has grown its upstream, midstream, and downstream portfolios in the last 2 years.
There are other systems that are coming upstream in terms of the automation. We are deploying the enterprise content management as we speak. And the enterprise content management is basically the strategies, the method, and the tools that are used to capture, to manage, to store, to preserve, and also to deliver content on related business processes. From the upstream down to the retailing side, all of those processes are being integrated.
Mr. Danladi speaks more on efforts being made to use SAP to save costs for the corporation.
Now we have an ECM platform, which is going to be a repository of all the data documents, that's the invoices and all of that, which is being integrated through the procure-to-pay process with the SAP. If we do that, we will lower our cost of production in the corporation.
Good evening and welcome to the feedback segments of the program. I am Julia Auta. One of the lingering challenges confronting the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation is the incessant vandalism of petroleum products and gas pipelines. It is against this background that our roving camera on the streets sought to find out from the public the effects of pipeline vandalism.
Because when the pipe is being vandalized, the crude that is pouring out, we don't make use of it again. So it has a very significant effect on the life of Nigerians.
All these people where they go steal, they break the pipeline, it go make some go catch fire and it go destroy property, some go lead to death.
The vandalization of pipelines, number one, is cost the economic effect to our country, because the person in power will have good intention for this country, but the process they have started vandalizing the pipeline, it makes the crude oil to be reduced.
People also want to just sabotage what the government is doing, to better the lives of the people, and they decide to just damage the pipelines in order to just sabotage the government's efforts.
Like the case of what happened in Abia State, where there's a pipeline vandalization and you see many people died as a result of that. There are a lot of effects of pipeline vandalization.
It's going to cost NNPC great loss, because this is one of the major sources of our revenue as a nation, and to vandalize it is actually to jeopardize the internally generated revenue of the country.
Petroleum product and gas pipeline vandalism is an economic sabotage not only to the NNPC but the national economy. This nefarious act has led to the loss of lives and properties in several communities. We all must join hands with the NNPC to stop pipeline vandalism, and the time to act is now. And that's our package. Please don't go away.
Hello! Good to have you join us in another extra informative segment of the program. I am Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, increased production from a constrained 15,000 barrels per day to 240,000 barrels per day? Did you know that the financing of the NNPC and Chevron Nigeria Limited joint venture, Project Cheetah, which was oversubscribed, won an international award for innovative financing arrangements in 2016? Did you also know that gas production has increased to over 8.3 billion standard cubic feet per day, far above the average of 7.155 billion standard cubic feet per day production recorded prior to this administration? Did you know that NNPC currently supplies an average of 720 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, representing about 47% of total gas supply to the domestic gas markets? Now you know. Please don't go away, the rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices stabilized Friday, bouncing back from an early sell-off after Asian and European stock markets plunged in the wake of Wall Street's biggest daily decline since 2011. Brent crude oil fell 82 cents or 1.1% to a low of $75.35 per barrel before rallying to around $76.37, up 20 cents. The global benchmark has lost more than $10 per barrel since hitting a high of $86.74 on October 3. U.S. West Texas Intermediate (WTI) crude was up 20 cents at $67.02 after touching an intraday low of $65.99. Analysts said factors outside the oil market were now leading sentiment, stressing that fear and anxiety about the global economy are currently playing a bigger role in the oil price than the actual fundamentals of supply and demand. Financial markets have been hit hard by a range of worries, including the US-China trade war, a rout in emerging market currencies, rising borrowing costs and bond yields, as well as economic concerns in Italy. Weakness is also starting to show in container and dry bulk rates, both of which have declined significantly in October, pointing to a slowdown in global trade. Many investors are concerned about rising oil inventories as supply exceeds demand in some key markets, including the United States. U.S. crude oil production has risen steadily over the past decade and hit a record high of 11.2 million barrels per day this month. U.S. commercial crude stocks rose for a fifth consecutive week last week, increasing 6.3 million barrels to 422.79 million barrels, the Energy Information Administration said. And that's about the size of crude oil outlook in this edition of the program. My name is Solomon Leopave.
This program has started off since 2000. In most government establishments, when they start a program, they fail along the line. But NNPC has been able to sustain this program, and I think we should commend them.
That's been stories, issues, and events on Oil and Gas Forum for this edition. NNPC wishes you a jolly good week ahead. Bye now.